Hello, Doc. Before we welcome our next guest, Dale Thomas, tell us what's been wrong with him and how many weeks has he missed, by the way?
Well, he had his surgery on the 21st of May. He won't remember that, but that was after round 7, so we're in round 15, so 8 weeks. He's been in the moon boot, but he's actually got a proper shoe on now, so 2 months. And how far away is he? Well, I guess that depends on how quickly he heals, but I'm saying, Daisy, he's got about a month or more of rehab ahead of him, so round 19.
Let's ask the man himself. Daisy, what do you reckon?
Well, I think that's pretty good. I actually rang the doc and asked when I think I'd be back.
I'm just having
You have to have a well-disguised brace on, though. You've got a brace underneath your pant and your sock that's in a nice black colour, so no one necessarily thinks you're injured at all.
Well, it's not by design, that. It's just the colour it is. So it's just precautionary, just in case a couple of crazy Carlton fans get a hold of me and throw me over the fence or anything tonight.
Okay.
So you're just going to have a little chair just outside Mick Malthouse's box tonight and just watch the game plan, see how they go or not, Dave?
Well, I think the coaches' boxes are pretty close to each other, so I'll be near him at some point. But no, that's not the funniest joke you've done, David.
And another quiet week at Collingwood, Daisy?
Yes, it's just like us, mate. Have a really good performance on the weekend and come out and just slide under the radar again.
I don't know how to tackle this one, Daisy, but we'll ask you one.
Someone has to, so you may as well be the one.
Harry O'Brien, can you take us through the events? I'm not sure how much you can and can't say through protocol with Collingwood, but Tuesday something's gone down and apparently hasn't been seen at the club since and isn't expected to be back till next week.
Well, it's a strange one because I was on the radio this morning and I literally had to make a phone call to the media manager saying, what's going on. My Twitter was blowing up with people saying, what's the story? So the story of events I got from the doc and from Steve Riley, the media manager, was that he's had a sore ankle, which he hurt against the Western Bulldogs a few weeks ago, had the break, had the week off, and is now, I think he's been given time to go away and, wherever he's gone to rest that ankle and, just freshen up.
Okay.
So, and that's about as much as I can tell you, yeah.
So absolutely no words at all between Bucks and Harry O.
Well, I presume that there was meetings and that throughout the week. I haven't been privy to them because I've been out in the gym doing my rehab. So, like most weeks, we go through reviews and such, but, I doubt there's been anything out of the ordinary and nothing more I can elaborate on.
How did you have the lie detector at BT? You got the Saturday night lie detector on most players. Did you have it on there? What's your reading of the body language there?
I don't know what's going on.
Come on, we take him at his word. Daisy's an honest man.
Well, why the lie detector's still on, Daisy? Your contract then? Well, it's on. Where's your are you in talks with Collingwood at the moment, or you still, as you said, want to leave it till you maybe get to play some footy if you do get some later on the year?
Yeah, well, it's kind of halted a little bit. My manager's currently sunning himself over in Thailand, so that makes it a little bit hard to get anything happening. But he's got in contact with the footy club, and the talks have started. So hopefully it all progresses nicely.
Aren't you glad you came up here into the box, Dave? Just for a nice, relaxing...
It's always nice to see you boys and get grilled. It's good fun.
Pre-game chat. On tonight's game and the form of the team.
Hang on. Can I just ask one more about Harry O?
Certainly.
Yeah.
Does it get a bit too much sometimes, the Harry O persona? Does he get a bit too carried away with his spot in the world?
No, the things that Harry does, not only like in the football terms, but the outside and the wider community is fantastic. And the only thing you can probably accuse Harry of is caring too much about everything that he does. So if that's the worst trait you have as a person, you're going all right.
So he's not high maintenance at all?
No, he's not high maintenance.
And sorry, Linger, before you get on to tonight's game. and so with what you said before, contract starting, your priority is to stay with Collingwood?
Yeah, certainly. Yes. I've said that all along. I said, hopefully I can... And that's the thing with contracts. You never know, where you may end up, and you know they're playing footy for such a long time. But hopefully it can all get happening, and I can stay out here, play with my mates for the rest of my career, and play out as a one-club player. But as I say, the nature of the business is you literally never know.
I tried to get you out of the grilling, mate, but they just keep coming. But I will say, the team, you need the win tonight, don't you? It's the fact that a loss like last week against Port Adelaide, haven't been playing the best footy. It shapes as a really important one where you need to start getting some momentum going into that later part of the year and obviously hitting finals up and about.
Yeah, certainly, and I think the boys were obviously pretty disappointed in the performance last week. And as you say, you go throughout the year and there's so much talk about, we can always start building. But the reality of it is now the time to start getting some momentum going and trying to hit that finals campaign. And if we can get there with some real momentum is now.
Is it a bit of a case at the moment where you're really relying on your stars, your Scotty Pendlebury, Dane Swan, Travis Cloke, whereas the great Collingwood team of 2010, 2011 was just one big unit that all, it felt like there was no weak links whatsoever.
There's probably a little bit of that from time to time, but I think the biggest thing that's hurting us at the minute is our ball use through centre forward. We've absolutely butchered the ball a lot of the time, and when you do that, when you're trying to play that little bit more of a corridor game that Bucks has introduced, it opens you up the other way. So I think we've been pretty cut up by sides going the other way, and that's where the scores against come, and that's meant that we've lost games.
We talk about the Brat Pack down at the Pylon a little bit, Tomo. Who would be the members of that? If there were a Brat Pack down there, who do you think would be the culprits in that sort of little gang?
Well, it's a rat pack. They're not happy when they're called the Rat Pack. But look, I think it originated from a few years ago, and it's well and truly died out now. But it was the Tarrants and the Johnsons, the Didacs, the Shaws, both of the brothers when they were both there. But I think the days of probably the Brat Pack and the Rat Pack and being a bit more ladsy have certainly gone out of not only our football clubs, but football clubs in general.
We believe you were just bordering on the edge 2 days. You're in and out of it.
Honorary member from time to time, mate.
Hey, Mark Neeld, you spent a lot of years with him as an assistant coach down at Collingwood. What have you thought of what you've seen over the last few weeks involving him?
I think knowing Neildy and seeing the way he's carried himself, it's just been a shining light. It's obviously been a very difficult time for him. I think once he would have got the job as Melbourne, he would have had some really big ambitions and some great plans for them, and unfortunately for him that didn't work out. But I think he's taken it on the chin as well as anyone could possibly have taken it, and moved on. And I still think that he could be a senior coach at somewhere, whether or not he still has that desire or what he's going to do with his life now. But he's a fantastic bloke, knows the game to a level that could quite happily see him at any other club.
Andrew Cracker, I know it's a pretty obvious answer that I'll get from you, but where do you think he's at right now? Do you think he's still got the enthusiasm he had when he arrived at Collingwood a couple of years ago?
Yeah, I certainly do. I'm a really good mate of Cracks, and there's no doubt that at times, he exerts himself so much, and because he's been through so much at times that it can get the better of him. And he, the club's fantastic with dealing with that. We give him a little bit of time away, and I think at times the media probably pries a little bit too much into that. It's the story on Wednesday night on the Fox Footy about his life and where he's come from and where he's got to now and the type of bloke he's become. It's a credit to himself, and for us, we want him out there playing his best footy because it's nights like this that he could be the difference.
Dale, fantastic to see Clinton Young finally represent Collingwood tonight. What role are you expecting for him, half back or more through the midfield?
Well, I presume now that Harry's not playing, he'll probably get through the wing. He's one of those players that we've probably missed over the first part of the year. The running, kind of break that line, and he can kick it 55 odd metres, so he's gone to that 80 metre player that you talk about so often, and for him and the ball use that he's going to hopefully deliver, as I said before, we've been chopping it up a little bit going through centre half forward, so if he can start lasering in that left foot of his, it will go a long way for us winning the game.
That 80 metre player, as Dougie Hawkins used to say, used to kick at 50 and run at 20.
Yeah.
Might get the 80. Yeah.
And he's running for Parliament.
Tom, I appreciate your time. Good luck with your return in a couple of weeks.
Good on you guys. Thanks.
Dale Thomas
too
joining
good for
us
us,
on
really,
Twitter
wasn't
View.
he? He was just too good.
Just batted us back.
I know. Well, we should be embarrassed with ourselves, really, for that
Well,
last
hoping he
7
might have
minutes.
taken a Davey Warner swing, but no swings and misses for Daisy.
Tom